Like we never left. We're back. Changed outfits, fresh shower, we're ready to go.
You did shower.
At least 3 of us have. It's 6 a.m. in the East.
the Irish Spring.
Absolutely. It's chafes, but
it's this side of the sofa.
Right, absolutely.
Yep.
I like to smell Irish. It's 6 a.m. in the East Coast. It is Wednesday, September 18th, and this is Fox and Friends. Fox News Lawyer, you're not going to believe this. Israel reportedly rigged Hezbollah pagers with explosives months ago and set them off with messages impersonating terror leadership. A live report from Tel Aviv. Speaker Mike Johnson on that and more.
Plus, Trump makes his first public appearance since his second assassination attempt as he rallies New York voters today. And as Kamala Harris finally shows up to talk to the black journalist group, like Trump did in July, they seemed a little more welcoming for Kamala Harris.
You attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. Why should black voters trust you?
Why is joy important to you to insert into this election?
What a question. It's a great one. I'm going to come up with it. I'm going to use joy in a sentence.
And look at this dash cam video. We're showing you the video because an 8-year-old girl took her mother's car for a joyride to go shopping at Target. And she's winning over the internet for it.
How did she touch the pedals?
I don't know.
Oh, listen, she mowed down at least one mailbox.
Yeah, I saw that.
She figured it out.
But she got her latte, right?
Frappuccino.
No one
At
gets
the Starbucks, that's where they caught her.
No one gets mail anymore.
That's true. Fox and Friends starts right now. Remember, mornings are better with friends.
All right, 6:02 here in New York City on this Wednesday. Former President Donald Trump is holding a rally tonight in Nassau County, New York.
Nassau County, where's that? Security.
Where do you live, Brian?
Oh, that's right. I live there. Security is top of mind since this campaign event comes just days after Trump was targeted in a second assassination attempt, and officials promise the arena where the rally is being held will be the safest place in the country.
No doubt, right?
Yeah, Commissioner Ryder will take care of that.
Brooke Singman joins us now with all the details. Hey, Brooke.
Hey, good morning, you guys. So the rally is set to start at 7 p.m. Eastern time in the Nassau Coliseum. Officials say local police are working hand in hand with the Secret Service to make sure security is airtight. The arena where the rally is being held and the parking lot were completely locked down last night for law enforcement to conduct a sweep. And everyone who is attending this rally will be screened through a single entry point for added layer of protection. Now, Trump says his team has long requested more security at his events. Listen.
We have long requested more people, more men and women, but more people. And because, we have rallies, 50, 60,000. In New Jersey, we had 107,000 people show up. There's never been anything like it. And we have long requested more people. That's true. That's the weakness. We need more people here for security. And we never seem to get that. And I think we are getting it now. Somebody told me that they will be providing more people now.
Trump made his first in-person remarks since the second assassination attempt at a town hall in Michigan last night. And a nurse who flagged Ryan Wesley Ruth to federal authorities spoke about her experience with the suspect while in Ukraine. Listen.
He had very bizarre and volatile tendencies after knowing Ryan for a while that he was a threat to others. So I felt that it was necessary that he be reported to the proper authorities. It got to a point where I ended up leaving Ukraine early on my first visit there because of Ryan. And I felt that I was in danger after a conversation that I had with him.
The Trump campaign says the rally tonight will focus on the effects of the economic and immigration policies of Vice President Harris and New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Guys.
All right, Brooke, thank you so much. Brooke, did y'all see the video yesterday of Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago with the law enforcement officers from Martin County?
It was great.
They were giving him the handcuffs that they used to detain the man who allegedly tried to shoot him the second time.
In fact, and there you see him in the big room at Mar-a-Lago shaking the hands of the Martin County Sheriff's Department, the deputies and whatnot. Thanked everybody. And apparently the handcuffs that they used to detain the suspect in the assassination attempt, they autographed him.
I think the big news is that Ron DeSantis is conducting through the state police his own investigation. So if they don't do it the right way, FBI, Department of Justice, just know there's going to be a second hand that's going to have their own investigation as well.
I cannot wait to find out if she wants her anonymity kept. I guess we'll never find out. But who actually had the state of mind to take the picture, and then they pushed her right over, and they brought her over to the assailant, the suspect. They said, "Is this the person you saw?" He said, "Absolutely." So, I mean, that's great thinking, great cooperation, and she followed all the way through.
And Jesse had sound bites last night of the lady who went over to Ukraine with the suspect, the nurse. She was very brave to go on Jesse's show. We'll show sound bites of that throughout the morning. But you just saw the one with Brooke. But she was saying that I watched the full interview, and she had some crazy things to say about this guy, that he wanted to kill everybody. She was scared. She met with others to say, you need to investigate this guy.
Yeah. Too crazy to fight with the Ukrainians. Yeah. So it's sent back. And who's supporting him? It looks like his wife. If that is his wife.
Is it his wife? Because his neighbor said he moved to Hawaii with his girlfriend.
Right.
But maybe they got married because they moved in May.
Could have been different people.
She has a checkbook.
So, speaking of checkbooks, let's talk a little bit about interest rates and the amount of money we pay on stuff. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, the Federal Reserve is going to announce an interest rate cut. They're absolutely going to cut. The big question is how much? Is it going to be a quarter point, or is it going to be a half a point?
Could it be like 6%? Could it be like 5%?
If they down it a quarter point, it just looks like they're doing something. But if they do it by a half a point, it's going to look like they're in charge. They've got a plan, and they realize that the situation is dire, and it's time to do something.
And that plan is to get Joe Biden, not Joe Biden, get Kamala Harris elected, because that would put you would think the market would really respond to that. Experts have said it's baked in the 0.25% cut, but it may be if it goes half a percent, it'll put jet fuel in the economy. So this is what the experts say. That we only cut rates when we feel inflation's under control. So they say inflation's under control. But right now, as you look at the prices where things are, they were 4 years ago.
Incredible.
They haven't really moved because it went up 9%. It just increased less ever since.
So when you look at the big wall, it really tells the story. Gas up 35%, groceries, this is every day you're seeing, a 21%, energy costs, 32%, that's your light bill. Daycare, you're taking your kids there, 18%. Ainsley, you want to get it from there?
Sure. Rent is up 23%. Car insurance, these are things we have to have. Up 56%. Transportation, if you take a bus or subway or even your car, 28%. And yesterday you had Donald Trump in Flint, Michigan, and then you had Kamala Harris talking to the National Association of Black Journalists. They had different answers when they were asked, what are you going to do to fix our economy? Hers was a bunch of fluff, nothing specific. His was talking about that energy cost. It's up 32%, and he said that's where we start. Listen to the differences in their answers.
I'm a mom of 3, a grandmother of 7, and 3 great-grands, a registered nurse, retired nurse. So I know the cost that goes into raising children and running a household. Yeah. People just can't survive now. How are you going to bring down the cost of food and groceries?
We have to start always with energy. Always. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal, and we're going to get that. It's my ambition to get your energy bill within 12 months down 50%. If I can do that, you've done a hell of a job.
Is the price of groceries still too high? Yes. Do we have more work to do? Yes. And I will tell you, I do believe that I offer a new generation of leadership for our country. And so my plan for the economy includes what I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy.
It's unbelievable. The word salad, they're not answering the direct questions, but it also highlights where Donald Trump is very well. When he's talking directly back and forth with the voter, the American people, they need to do more of the town halls. And it's so funny because the Kamala Harris piece that they continue to say is the reason why she doesn't do many interviews is because she's going directly to the voter. She's not. You think the voter understands that type of policy? I'm not sure we even understand what she's saying.
She's not taking questions from the audience.
No.
She's taking questions from 3 handpicked journalists.
Well,
it's true.
What we've seen with her appearances, and this is the second interview she's given, is the challenge of running as a sitting vice president where you don't really want to disagree with the boss, the current president, because breaking with the president in public would be problematic. So on X yesterday, Politico posted a little tease of a story they've got, and the way they depicted it, Harris's formula for national news media interviews: don't make news. That's exactly what, if you watched them back to back, you would realize she didn't have so many facts as she had feelings. She had feelings about things because she's not getting into things. And we hear some of the themes, and a lot of the verbiage is exactly the same. It's because the campaign has focus grouped it. They know exactly what works. They can say something that sounds good. People don't know exactly what it is, but it kind of sounds good. And that is what we're going to get from here till November 5th.
I don't know if it's breaking, I know what you're saying. You don't want to break with the boss because it looks bad publicly. But
and you don't want to make news.
But they already broke with the boss by kicking him out and putting her in it. So I think she has to prove that I have better solutions for the economy, because under our administration, everything was up. We showed you the prices. But she doesn't have solutions. It's all a word salad about she grew up in the middle class. She wants everyone wants their lawns to look pretty. Opportunity economy. What is an opportunity economy? Give me specifics of what you're going to do. Like Donald Trump says he's going to bring back the salt, what do you call it? The salt tax or the deduction, so you can deduct, your state and local tax from your income, which New Yorkers would love. Connecticut would love, all the high tax states would love. So he gives specifics. He talked about energy. He's going to lower your energy bill by 50% in the first 12 months. She's talking in word salads. Opportunity economy, what is that going to do for us?
Well, it sounds good. We just don't have the details.
Right. The thing with her is very simple. If you would say I want to have a different direction on the economy without breaking with your boss, describe the people that you're going to hire.
Right.
Just go, we're going to have people with a differing, this new economic mind. I'm going to be bringing him in or her in. I'm going to be looking to push it. What works in 2020 will be different in 2024. Also, you call up Joe Biden and go, Joe, I'm going to separate myself a little from you. I'm looking to get elected. Yeah. Right now, people have a different feeling from the economy than you. You understand that? Oh, good. So that's how simple it would be. But I just don't think she's quick on her feet, has really no confidence. But the way she was handled at the Black Journalist Conference compared to where Trump was handled, you have to see, you have to hear it to believe it. Watch.
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. I grew up a middle-class kid. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams. The ambition, the aspiration, the dream. I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. Having a background as a prosecutor, I intend to create an opportunity economy. Developing and creating an opportunity economy. What I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy.
It's the same exact way every time. Look, I'm used to politicians having a stump speech. Right. The good politicians, they have that same speech that they give on but you tweak it a little bit. When you go to different states, different cities, you make it more relatable. You include a little sound that, is more relatable to the crowd. But verbatim, the same thing every single time seems more of a scripted moment and not a stump speech moment.
Remember when she went to debate camp in Pittsburgh? Mm-hmm. Obviously, they hammered in her head, okay, these are these slogans and these are the things you need to say to connect to people. People feel like they don't know enough about you. Mm-hmm. Just repeat these things and we will be fine. And that is why she has not veered off script, because they think, according to their research, it's a winning recipe.
Right now we're in a dead heat. So we'll see. We saw Mark Penn yesterday. I'm not sure that's going to, if you have to say something new at some point. Yeah. I thought. We'll see.
That's typically how the races are run.
Even though the election's, less than 50 days away now?
Is. 48 maybe?
It's still a long time. That's weeks and weeks. She's going to have to continue to do interviews. And if she continues to say the same message, it gets old after a while.
The question is, does it ever resonate with the voter? And I think that's what we're waiting to see.
We'll know November 6th.
Yeah, we will. All right, we got a Fox News alert. Hezbollah is vowing to punish Israel after accusing them of wounding thousands across Lebanon by detonating explosives hidden inside pagers.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. You probably never will. Mike Tobin joins us live from Tel Aviv. It happened, around 3:30 local time yesterday, Mike?
Exactly, and it lasted for about an hour. Pages started exploding all over Lebanon, and we know that some of them exploded in Syria as well. All told, about 3,000 pagers exploded yesterday. They beeped before they exploded, so as a result, a lot of the injuries are to the fingers of people who reach for their pagers. Some of the injuries are to their eyes because they looked at their pagers. A lot of the injuries are to the west and pocket area where most people carry their pagers. Now, according to reports, it was Hezbollah chief himself, Hassan Nasrallah, who ordered the use of pagers because he thought it was too easy for Israel to track or hack into smartphones. Security experts say the explosions were more powerful than just a battery, so at some point the pagers were sabotaged, explosive charges and switches were installed in each device. The pagers were a Taiwanese brand, Gold Apollo, but the chairman of that company says he licensed the name to a company out of Europe, BAC. He says BAC made the pagers. I've reached out to that company, nothing back yet. The U.S. says they didn't know anything about the attack in advance.
I can tell you that the U.S. was not involved in it. The U.S. was not aware of this incident in advance, and at this point, we're gathering information.
Now, Hezbollah has blamed Israel for the pager attack with a statement that reads in part, "This treacherous and criminal enemy will surely receive his just retribution for the sinful aggression from where it counts, from where it doesn't count." The north of Israel remains on alert for retaliation from Hezbollah. More than 60,000 Israelis have already evacuated from the north as rockets and drones are fired almost every day. Israel, predictably, is silent about this attack. Guys, back to you in New York.
So, Mike, the company we thought, Apollo, Gold Apollo, was from Taiwan. They said, no, we sold that entity over to another company, BAC, that's addressed in Budapest. So when it did arrive, somehow it seems as though the Mossad got to it, put some liquid into it and a switch. And then when they send a signal at 3:30, it would heat up, and the heat would ignite the explosive liquid that would blow these people up.
Plus
about on the battery at 3,000. So 9 killed, but 3,000 people had their hands blown off, their groins blown off.
Some died.
Some died, including an Iranian official. What is the reaction? I mean, this is stunning.
It really is stunning. In Israel, I think people are kind of proud of their Mossad operatives who at some point sabotaged that shipment of pagers that went off to Israel. At least it's believed that the Mossad was involved in it. Of course, in Lebanon, they're furious about this attack. It's a pretty interesting attack, though, because it really does minimize, not eliminate entirely, collateral damage. You have Hezbollah pointing to the fact that one little girl, they say, was killed when all the pagers started exploding all across. When you have 3,000 explosions, there is going to be some kind of collateral damage. Now, Ynet is reporting that Israel started to learn that Hezbollah had become suspicious of the pagers. So the reason the detonation happened yesterday afternoon was simply because Israel was faced with the choice, detonate these pagers at that time or don't detonate them at all if the Hezbollah operatives became suspicious of their pagers and got rid of them.
Well, and the thing, Mike, in addition to impacting close to 3,000 members of Hezbollah, now they have essentially taken out the central means of communication. The way that they would talk from the home office to all of the people all over the place is gone.
And it's going to make them suspicious of all their electronics, certainly electronics that they've gotten recently. Beyond that, it softens the battlefield, if you will. If you take out a bunch of the fighters, don't necessarily have to kill them, but if you injure them, make all the medical staff busy with dealing with them. There was a lot of speculation that a second front was going to open up yesterday immediately following the pager attack because you had the hospitals overwhelmed, you had a lot of staff busy. Of course, that didn't materialize, though.
Right.
Story.
Mike.
Some exploded in Syria. Some people exploded in Syria.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Man, they got to be freaked out in Lebanon. Not only knowing where these higher-ups were through intelligence, that's the attack from a month ago. It's from the explosives in Iran blowing up the head of Hamas. and now killing.
What a massive win, though, for Israel, though.
How would this work?
Brilliant.
How would this work? They would put the explosive device inside the pager when they're during manufacturing?
The boss said no more cell phones. So they ordered 3,000 from this company in Budapest.
So it would have to be put in prior to them getting the paper.
Somewhere along the line, they apparently put 1 or 2 ounces of explosive next to the battery, according to the New York Times, who spoke to American officials, who spoke to people who won't actually tell them what happened.
I'm sure the Israelis. We weren't aware of the operation.
Which is why it came off. I know this administration would have probably stopped it.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, let's hand it over to Carly. She has some more headlines for us.
I certainly do. Yeah, good morning to you guys. Today, House Republicans are holding a hearing on the border crisis and how the Biden-Harris administration's policies are affecting Americans. Lawmakers will hear from multiple witnesses, including a retired Chief Border Patrol agent, ᗷᖇEᗩKITG, who joined Fox and Friends First earlier.
The number of individuals coming across the border, the numbers just continue to increase to the thousands and thousands each day, and we struggled mightily to return them back to their home countries. There is a significant threat out there that we don't know. There were times entire sectors across Arizona, Texas, and California that had no agent presence at all.
There have been over 8 million encounters under the Biden-Harris administration. And check this out, bumbling burglars falling through the ceiling of a cash advance shop in Atlanta, almost landing on the store manager. Police believe the thieves cut through the roof using power tools before dropping in and not sticking the landing. The masked crooks grabbed around $150,000 from the store safe. They are still on the loose. Quite the video there. And dashcam video, speaking of incredible video, out of Ohio shows an 8-year-old girl behind the wheel of her mom's SUV on her way to run some errands at Target. Listen to this 911 call from the driver who spotted her swerving all over the road.
It looks like a kid.
Okay, it's a white Nissan Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, police say the child took her mom's car and drove 11 miles to Target. Officers found her inside shopping. The girl did confess to police that she hit a mailbox along the way. Officials recapped the event on social media, adding some humor to it, saying, quote, not sure what she bought or if she was even able to use her Target app to save 5%. We did let her finish her Frappuccino. We're not mean. How about that response? You know, they say kids are growing up faster and faster, but this is ridiculous.
Well, apparently she drove the car for 25 minutes, which is crazy. Okay, this goes to show you that kids don't understand how things work.
Yeah.
She left the house on a Sunday at 7 a.m. Target is not going to be open at 7:30.
What is she thinking?
Well, apparently she, according to WEWS TV, she walked in with $400 and shopped around and then checked out.
She had $400.
I don't know.
Wow.
That kid is awesome.
Okay, the Tooth Fairy's really upped their game.
I'm telling you, man.
We need to hire this child because I have an 8-year-old.
As a personal shopper?
I mean, I'm telling you.
We'll drive her, though.
She wouldn't be able to drive.
Yes.
I don't know if she would have access to money.
I don't think we can hire her because she's grounded.
How did the kid know how to get to Target?
I
mean, that's some skill.
I don't know.
Is this true? Is this story true?
I hope so. We're a news channel.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad she's okay. Took out a mailbox.
I have a lot of questions.
Right.
A lot of questions.
Something.
Okay, it's 23 minutes after the top of the hour. Tulsi Gabbard and Riley Gaines teaming up. They're going to tell us why this hour.
But first, Trump and Harris get very different treatment during their separate sit-downs with black journalists.
We're asking black supporters to vote for you. Why should black voters trust you?
Why is joy important to you to insert into this election?
So Kamala Harris spoke with the National Association of Black Journalists in her second sit-down interview, and the treatment she got was very different compared to the questions Trump faced last month. Listen.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
And for you to start off a question and answer period in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Your opponent and Republicans have at times weaponized you laughing. Why is joy important to you to insert into this election?
There are some times when your adversaries will try and turn your strength into a weakness. Don't you let them.
Oh, how nice. Here to discuss is former executive director for Draft Biden 2016, former senior advisor to Bernie Sanders, Will Pierce. Will, it's good to see you again. I guess my question is, black folks, we got real issues in the country right now. It's not just being soft, but not asking any of the questions that impact us on a day-to-day basis. Right?
Lawrence, it's just ridiculous. I think we've seen more hard-hitting questions asked in a high school class president election. They had a chance of one of the first interviews with Kamala Harris because in this election, and they asked softball questions that basically just made it seem like it was more of a campaign event rather than a hard-hitting interview. Yeah.
So what's the impact on black voters? Do you think many of the folks that are living within the community are listening to an interview like this, are taking their talking points, or do you think they're just going to vote differently?
I think they're going to vote differently. What we've been seeing is a major shift, especially amongst young black men. The numbers are showing that they're more shifting now to Donald Trump overall, and this has been going all throughout the whole entire summer. The main reason why the Harris campaign did this interview in the first place is because of those numbers. They were actually thinking about not doing this interview going back to July when President Trump did it, and I think this really was a tipping point when they saw the numbers, when they saw that they're losing this base. They thought, hey, we can get it back with this interview. But I'm sorry, that was just too little, too late.
So let's talk about that. She talked about, to her credit, she says you have to work for the black male vote. Okay. So what is it going to take to win that vote for either candidate? What do black male voters want? I hear many people, when I talk to them, they're talking about the same things as me. Economy. They don't want people coming across the border taking their jobs. They don't want people taking over their community in the sense of their schools, their health centers. What are you hearing?
I think those are all the same issues. And what we're seeing as well is we're seeing a major shift in black men overall. We're actually seeing an increase among black Republicans coming out to actually run for office, get involved in an early vote. And I think this election is going to be a lot different. The Democrats, they had their chance. I thought they maybe thought that they were going to get it back with this interview from the Black Journalists Association. But what they're lacking right now is real facts. What are they going to do for the economy? What are they going to do for everyday American people? We don't need joy. We do not need platitudes. What we need as American people is a real plan.
Yeah. When they say that they have a plan and things are going well, how do you think voters take that?
It's just like basically it's just pulling over the wool over your eyes. So if they had a plan, where has it been for the last 3.5 years? We keep hearing Harris saying, oh, she has a plan. Oh, she's going to do this. Oh, she's going to do that. That's all well and good. But I'm sorry, Donald Trump, he said during the debate, why wasn't this taking place over the last 3.5 years? Why hasn't she sat there, woken up Joe Biden and said, hey, you know what? Let's execute this. Let's do that. You guys were talking about earlier. We see car insurance increasing upwards 50%. We're seeing the groceries increase. We're seeing everyday bills increase over and over and over again. And I think that's where American people are getting upset overall.
Yeah, because it's impacting them on a day-to-day basis. Mr. Pierce, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thanks for having me back on.
You got it. So today, rapper TᖇΔેᗰ Combs is behind bars, and he's expected to appeal those shocking criminal charges. The next steps in that criminal case, that's next.
This is a Fox News alert. TᖇΔeᗰ Combs is expected to appeal today after a judge denied his request for bail. Just some of the shocking allegations include reports of the disgraced rapper forcing himself on various women, some underage and inebriated, and grooming others, eventually pulling them into sex trafficking. Here to discuss is New York-based trial attorney Rebecca Rose Woodland. Thank you for being with us. So where does this go from here? It sounds like he's in a heap of trouble.
This is very serious. He's facing life in prison.
Is he really?
Yes.
That long?
And he was even denied bail yesterday, which was a very big issue. His attorneys are claiming they're going back at 3:30 p.m. to see a different judge to request that issue be revoked and that he be remanded to his home, and that he was going to put up his home in Miami for collateral. Yesterday stated that he has anger and substance abuse issues, and that he spoke to witnesses, potential witnesses, with the intent to coerce them to testify differently, or I guess not to testify. So aside from a risk of flight, which he has substantial assets to enable,
right.
I think the judge is concerned about some other issues regarding the potential trial and witnesses therein. So, you know, they're going back at 3:30 p.m. Do I think that they'll be successful? No, I don't.
It sounded like yesterday when I watched the press conference, this was a big operation. He had a lot of staff members that were working behind the scenes to get these hotel rooms ready, to get his houses ready, ordering cases and cases of different items that like baby oil and lubricants and things like that. So he didn't do this alone. They didn't talk about specific co-conspirators yesterday, though. Why is that? Is there a deal that they've made with authorities?
That's such a good point, because that's a possibility.